Today I'm going to move to something a bit more interesting for me, which has been our movement to doing wine styles that Europe takes for granted. And of course, as we know, Europe has been the home of the wine as we know it for 4,000 to 6,000 years. And what I wanted to talk about today was a concept called the field blend. We call ours Dragonfly, but a field blend is something that's common in Europe but rare in Australia. We call it Dragonfly. It's a lovely insect. I love the wings and I love the colours. But if you look down for Dragonfly, it has many meanings in many countries, but effectively it's the wisdom of transformation and adaptability. So it sits with the sort of wine that we wanted to make. And field blend really is, as it says, a field blend. It is not just one variety, it's many varieties. It's usually from one field, but it can be from adjacent fields or whatever you choose to do. The reason it has come about is because most vineyards in Europe don't have specific wine varieties. They might have a combination. They might have 2, 3 or 4 different wine varieties that grow and cohabit. Mostly they're the same colour, but occasionally you'll get red grapes and white grapes mixed amongst it. The most famous example that you see in Australia is a blend of wine called Shiraz Viognier, where there's Shiraz vineyards in Côte Rôtie, and they have the white grape for Viognier planted amongst it. And they often pick them all together, and it makes the most interesting wine because it lifts the Shiraz. But from my perspective, what we do with the field blends, we've started with our white wines, and we're on the second one now. We have released one already. We released one, in 2018. In 2019, we started with a field blend in this bottle. We call Field Blend 1, Dragonfly White 1. And we now currently have a wine called Dragonfly White 2. They're both different varieties from different regions, and that is the idealism behind having the transformation of the Dragonfly style, the field blend. So let me start with Dragonfly 1, which we made in March 2019 and was sold out pretty much by Christmas in 2019. And we use the varieties from one vineyard, a mate of mine down the road, and it's 3 varieties, a Sauvignon, Vermentino, and a bit of Chardonnay. That's the majority of the blend. That's all from one site. The vineyards are next to each other, and when we harvested the grapes, we just went straight through and picked them all together. Sauvignon has its origins in a place called the Jura, which is sort of east of Burgundy, towards Switzerland, I guess, or Germany. And it's quite an aromatic variety. It looks a bit like Sauvignon Blanc, or tastes a bit like Sauvignon Blanc. The other variety is Vermentino, which is known in Sicily and Liguria. That's the coast on the western side of Italy, just south of France. And that makes a medium-bodied dry white that often has a floral musk lolly smell about it. And we threw some Chardonnay in because it was next door for a bit of stuffing and a bit of flavour and alcohol, because Chardonnay is such a good workhorse. And the way we make it is we pick them all together, we add a yeast, we ferment them, and we bottle it as one wine. We don't have any particular view where it's going to end up. We know that this wine represents his vineyard, and that's the charm of the field blend, that they depict the vineyard. Europeans love them because it is more about regional typicity. That is, a wine of the region, not of the variety. We get hung up on the varieties here. So is it a Shiraz or a Cabernet or a Chardonnay or a Riesling? And that's important for us because we like to know what sort of wine it is. However, in Europe, they say this wine is from Burgundy or from Côte Rôtie or Hermitage or Quasi-Hermitage. All of these areas have different varieties that make it up, and you need to go back to the textbooks and have a look and see what makes it up, because they don't have it on the label. We put it on the label because there's an expectation in Australia that they know what they're drinking. And of course, if they come to try a Dragonfly dry white, they will know that it's made here. They'll know that it is dry, that there's no sugar in it, and they know that it's interesting. But what we try to do when we run out of this wine and we make another one is that we do something completely different. And this takes me to Dragonfly 2. Now this is from Orange, and this is from Tremina and Sauvignon Blanc, 2 strange bedfellows. Tremina, or Gewürztraminer, has its home, what's best known in Alsace. eastern France, right on the border of Germany, and Sauvignon Blanc, which has its home in the Loire Valley, which is on the Loire River south of Paris. It's a long river. It makes some pretty famous wines called Sancerre or Puy Fumé, and they make Sauvignon Blancs that I guess started the world's craze on Sauvignon Blanc, but now quickly overtaken by those marvellous wines out of New Zealand, particularly Marlborough. So those two varieties are strange in that they're from different parts of the world or different parts of the one country, but they both have this aromatics about them. I call the Traminer, the Gewürztraminer, musk lolly, and I call the Sauvignon Blanc herbal or grassy or kiwi fruit or passion fruit. We put those two together, and there's a little bit of Chardonnay we threw in there as well for texture and body. Good old workhorse Chardonnay. And the result is a wine really perfumed, and that's the sort of wine I wanted to demonstrate with our rock oysters. These are from our friends Poulos Brothers. We picked them up yesterday. We're going to be featuring these tomorrow. We conventionally have had Friday oyster bar, and we still have it, by the way. Those who are local who want to make the trip, who can. We have 1 dozen oysters, and we can also get a glass or a bottle of the Dragonfly White. So when I pour them, there is the slightest off colour of white in the Traminer, Dragonfly 2, the Traminer and the Sauvignon Blanc blend. And that's because the Traminer itself has pink skin. So when we harvest it, the skins get quite pink. These colours are on the skin and not the liquid, not the juice inside. So as it ferments, of course, there's very little colour, but occasionally it'll pick up the colour later on. The other variety that has this happen to it is Pinot Gris. Pinot Gris means small grey, and grey because the colour is grey, or we sometimes use the word bronzed with it. So in Traminer also you'll get this bronzing colour or grey colour. That is in fact red, and I'm going to show you something in a minute to explain how red it can get. The reason it's not quite red yet is that the sulfur dioxide, or SO2, that's added to wine to keep it fresh does bleach it slightly or partially. So it's not as pink as you might expect, but I hope to demonstrate that later. The idea about field blends can be transferred to red wine too. So we have a red field blend, but it's sold out. We'll hope to have one another in about July or August, which is a Merlot, Cabernet Franc and Petit Verdot, 3 varieties that we make here, all organic. But one thing leads to another. We don't particularly do it chemically. We don't have 3 glasses and say a bit of this, a bit of that. We just pick it together and throw it together and put it in a tank and see how it turns out. And they're quite different. So the shame about it is you can't buy both together because we've sold out of that one. But the point about this is that it shows the characteristics of the region. This is orange. So what is it about region that's orange? Well, it's a mountain that sits in the middle of western New South Wales. Its highest point is 1,200 metres. This vineyard is 1,000 metres. Climatically, it puts us in northern Europe, in northern France. So we would call it a cool to a cold climate area. What does cold climate mean? It means that the grapes ripen in autumn, about now. That ripening later means they have very, very high natural acidity, and they have a very slow ripening curve. For white wines, that's particularly important because white wines are all about the aromatics and fineness or freshness of grapes. It's more difficult to make good red there because it can be so cold now that they often don't get the flavour and the colour to build it up.
Question.
We've
had a question come through from Nathan. Hi David, how do you determine which grapes go into each blend?
Sure. So the idea of a field blend is we don't take it by variety. We'll say that this field has got these white grapes, and as long as they're clean and pure and the grapes look like they're of good quality, we just pick it together. We just determine, let's put these two together. We harvest them together. In the case of this field blend 2, which is the orange Traminer and Sauvignon Blanc, we harvested them a week apart. So we did crush the Traminer first, and we left it on skins a bit. So that means a bit like a red wine for a few days. That's why it's picked up some of that colour, that blush colour. And then we picked the Sauvignon Blanc a week later, and we processed it like a white grape juice, and then we added the yeast. Then we put the two together while they were fermenting. So they got a chance to get to know each other, cohabit. didn't have any social distancing with that, not with Traminer and Sauvignon Blanc. So I'm going to try them now with rock oysters, and we do pick up a musky smell. I mean, I won't eat the oysters because I'm going to have them later, and there's a 7-star out there, and there's only 6 oysters. It's going to be funny. And in the tasting notes, which I put in my pack of 6, which is in that wine, that wine features, I talk about the wine smells sweet but tastes dry. And that's a really important part because it smells fruity, but it doesn't not buggered up by sugar. And that's really important when you have something like rock oysters. You don't want sugar to overdo your taste buds. Something fresh and light and acidic helps you see food better. Now, just to demonstrate the colour, I have here little medicine bottles. So I'm going to put, if you can see that, I'm going to put some of that Dragonfly Blend 2 there. The same in here, quantity here. And I'm going to put a white background behind it. So I'm going to put some orthophosphoric acid. So it's in a bottle I had nearby. Don't try this at home. This is 25% orthophosphoric acid. And what I want to do is to demonstrate the true colour of this wine in time. So in 10 years' time, when the wine has aged a lot and any of the sulphur that's in the wine has been removed by time or oxygen, this will be the true colour of the wine. It's a pretty interesting chemistry. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's the Dragonfly 2 with time. That's the Dragonfly now in the bottle. So at the moment you'll see that, and slightly bronze. I don't know if you can see that, but now it's got a real nice little pink colour to it. That indicates that there is colour coming from the skins in the wine, and in time that will come out to be that colour. We don't call it a rosé because it's effectively a white wine. But this is to demonstrate that, but also with Pinot Gris, as well as Traminer, you do get this colour effect, or bronze or blush colour. So I wanted to close on that. I just wanted to, I guess, hopefully that you're enjoying these videos. I do them twice a week. I've got a few more shirts left. But if you get a chance, please share it with someone you like. And you can find us on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Facebook Lowe Wines, Instagram Lowe Family Wine Company. These are called One Take Dave because I just do it raw. And I do hope that you're able to come into the next one, which I'm going to do on Sunday at 4 o'clock, which I'm going to look at Shiraz. It's time for some Shiraz, and we'll compare my 2 great Shiraz vineyards here, Block 5 and Block 8. They're 80 metres apart. They're a pitching wedge, or 3 iron for me, apart, but they make incredibly different wines, and I want to go through why they're different, starting with the geology and go through to the taste and try and explain why they're different, just because the soil is different. After that, I think we'll keep going on and keep doing the subjects, and bring your questions, let us know, email us, contact us on social media. Happy to answer the questions that I can possibly answer. Bye for now.